it's a wonderful, wonderful weekend, a wonderful day, beautiful morning, afternoon actually. Welcome everybody. This is the Last Talk Gaming Podcast brought to you by Coral Sword. We want to thank you so much, Vincent, and this the staff here, the team here that's been very supportive of Last Talk Gaming. We appreciate all of you. We do have a couple of announcements before we start on with the podcast segment. So next weekend. Don't forget, Texas Showdown. If we can have the banner up there real quick and tell you guys a little bit about it. Texas Showdown, the premier Texas tournament, May 10 to 12, 2019, Houston, Texas, TexasShowdown.com. Late registration continues through April 28th.
A couple days late for that.
Couple of days, but we're here, we're there, and we will be there. So if you see us, if you see anybody wearing our Last Talk Gaming logo, please come say hello to us. We'll be extremely excited to talk to you and get to know you. And if you're if you feel like you're a major part of the FGC community, please, we'd love to sit down and talk to you. We will have player interviews when we're there. We're gonna just try and create as much content as possible and recap everything. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hello to Rosen, Wormy, and anybody else who's watching. Hello, Italo, and the LSG team. Like, I always appreciate you guys so much. You guys, we're doing this to move the community forward, to move the Smash community forward. Again, you can find us on lasttalkgaming.com. And now Tim is going to introduce our wonderful guest for today.
All right. Today we got the one and only Trella, best player in Texas, like the Austin Slayer. What do you think about that matchup, playing against Austin?
Damn it. Oh, is that ours? Dude.
Have you dropped a game to him?
What's up?
Have you dropped a game to him?
No, I definitely have. The first time we played, actually, I lost a set. It was
Okay.
He was destroying me, actually. It felt really terrible. And somehow managed to pull that around. I can definitely tell Ness wins that matchup. It ain't the most fun time, you know.
The
trying to
last
get around
time
that
y'all
stuff.
played, you made it look like
Somehow,
you made it look easy.
yeah, that's how it goes sometimes, you
Yeah.
know. Like, but I prepare for that moment for a while.
Yeah, I
you
watched
know,
I watched that first match with them. I think that was back in February, if I'm not mistaken. You had a little bit of trouble with them, but then you brought it back. And then the next meeting with them was definitely just like you just said,
dude.
and then you were done, right?
Literally, like I think what also changed that moment for me was also just having the stamina to
Yeah.
fight through that, because we played at like I think it was like after 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was like one of
pretty
the
late.
biggest weeklies of
Mhm.
all time. So
Yes.
like you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You got to be ready for that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Trella, thank you for being here. Tell us about yourself and you and who you are. We described you as the best player in Texas, and we want to hear from you if that is correct, if that is true.
I don't know about that, but my tag is Trella. Name's Albert. I've been playing for it's been like I think it's been over 10 years now,
Mhm.
competing in Smash. I went through all of Brawl, all of Smash 4, on and off, and then now I'm here in Ultimate.
Yeah.
It's been such a wild road. Like I don't know how to properly describe it and go into all this, but yeah, it's only gotten harder from here.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a lot of players that are coming up, and who is someone that you feel is could be the next you?
coming up. Oh God, hey Houston, dude.
Yeah, Houston.
Shoot. Honestly, right now, I think a lot of the older gen players are kind of at the top at the moment.
Yeah.
Usually that's how it goes. Like even in Smash 4, we held the top spots for the first few years, and then later on, like these new gens came in and started beating us, taking names. Karna, for example,
Yep.
was like the first person I can think of that would do that. But for Ultimate at the moment, the only one I can think of, top of my head, is Ismon.
Yeah.
He's a nightmare to fight. Oh,
This one is insane.
yeah. Wario is just.
I feel like
Actually, it's
Isman-
Falco. His Falco.
I
I
feel
can't
like
believe-
Isman is always brought up in our conversation.
We talk about him every single week.
Yeah. I mean, for rightfully so. You know, I was gonna mention his Falco. Like, I have a hard time with his Falco than his Wario.
Really?
I think he normally goes Wario in bracket, but yeah,
Is
his
it because
Falco,
of just the character matchup? Just
I
the
think
Ridley
so.
versus Falco?
His Falco's punish game is absolutely ridiculous. I thought Fox was bad enough as it is, you know, just getting up aired multiple times, like on a platform or something. But Falco, like, he gets one grab or up tilt, 70+ damage, especially on Ridley. Not a fun time.
So how'd you land on Ridley?
How to
How did you
play
land on
Ridley
playing
at start?
Ridley?
It's such a weird experience, you know. Like, I had some friends who got the game early, like a few days
Right.
before, and we're all practicing and playing. And, I was trying all these different new characters. I'm always attracted to the new characters.
Okay.
Because, after playing all Lucario and Brawl, I told myself I would never do that again. Stick with one character and just, ignore everyone else. So, beginning of Smash 4, I picked up, like, Robin, Shulk, Charizard, playing a bunch. And then I would switch, every few months to something else.
Okay.
And something about Ridley, it just caught my eye. How could a heavy character be this fast?
Beautiful.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I felt like he had it all at the start. It's a little bit different now, but he can do a lot of things.
No, he definitely has an interesting toolkit. He has a very unique moveset.
His combo game, his edge guarding, his kill power. I'm killing people at like below 50 with forward smash.
Yeah, forward smash is dumb.
It's ridiculous. Like what? I love it.
I think that's all the commentators at Shockwave were talking about every time you came on playing a set. All they talked about was forward smash.
Dude.
Yeah, I think every time
that's the
Ridley,
wave, man.
every time Ridley's on, it's like just forward smash, just forward.
It is so incredibly safe, and it actually reminds me a lot of Brawl Lucario. His forward smash was pretty much like that. It didn't really kill as early because in Brawl you really couldn't kill that early, but had very little end lag. You put with most F smashes in this game, you character spaces himself back as they pull the F smash back and then release it. And it's so safe on shield, too, especially if I charge it a little bit longer.
Yeah, we saw you do it twice on shield. I can't remember what set it was, but there was a set where at Shockwave you did it against shield, and then you did it immediately after, and the guy dropped shield.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, and I find those type of moves, too, they're really effective versus players that kind of just, like, run at you. Like Austin, for example. He's always up in your face at all times. He's got to hit you.
Yeah.
So,
Do you feel like that's just an Austin thing or a Ness thing?
I think it's an awesome thing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Ness definitely amplifies that because
Yeah.
that's just what Ness does, right? Like he's always in your face with these side magnet combos and these, these crazy aerials that beat out most attacks. Some of the fastest moves in the game.
Fastest move, ridiculous hitboxes.
But Austin's always played like that. Like I remember in Smash 4 he had that same type of style, and Ness just got all the buffs in this game. My goodness, that PK Thunder, I had when I played in the first set. That Shockwave Shockwave 2, I think.
Yeah, that
he would throw me off stage. PK Thunder, like for 100+%. Like, what is this move? And you can't air dodge.
Right.
Just die, or he'll just go around it and punish you. Oh man. But yeah, I was like I was saying, moves like forward smash against those type of players, like they always get hit by that. And if you space yourself a certain way and also pull back with the F smash, like. It's just such a good spacing tool.
Yeah. Is there any move particular from Ridley that, aside from forward smash, that you really like using, or you feel like nobody can like it's really hard to deal with?
Down tilt.
Down tilt.
Down tilt. Oh, I thought at first. Also talking with other Ridleys and listening to them talk about their problems with the character.
Down there.
Down tilt, like it's hard to. Oh yeah, down is the first thing to think of. Okay, that move is atrocious, but with down tilt, it's like. You don't have actual guaranteed follow-ups at lower percents. It's more like at the higher percents, and they're very like the percent thresholds are like really tight. But down tilt as a move, it's like Marth tipper down tilt on steroids. Like,
so
it does everything in neutral. It's absolutely crazy.
When you're going through like learning a character, right? For the people who are listening, for people who are brand new to the game, what is the process that you go through to learn, to get to a higher level of understanding of that character, like from day one, for like do a 30-day training, like a P90X kind of thing for a character. So like, what is it that people should be doing to get to a higher level of understanding of a character?
It's more about I think I've always believed that you're supposed to use your moveset as like a toolkit. It's like, sure, you can know all your confirms and percents and all this kills here, and I should go for this grab at this percent and all that. Like Ridley at low percent, always down throw. Like, that's the main thing you go for, and he gets everything he wants out of that, Like, that's the basic stuff you go for, right? But against better players, you'll start to notice that, like, they're playing around my grabs. Now I can't, like, hit him. What do I do? It's more about applying your other moveset, your moves and your moveset. Depending on the situation. So for example, like down tilt conditions them to shield, where you can, then go for the grab, and also beat out other moves on the ground like dashes. It's so good versus characters who like to just dash in and try to grab you, so you pop them up. But yeah, this is the biggest thing I'd say is just like, once you got the core fundamentals down, like the basics of the character, you start to learn these like really what's the word, like very peculiar situations of like, oh well, I could use this move here and apply it here, you know. I think that really helped me with Ryu. I was gonna say Ryu helped me a lot with that in Smash 4, because that's basically how he uses his moves is like a toolkit.
Right.
You know, in some matchups like Swordies to have, you know, like singular hitboxes like up airs and fairs, you can focus attack and get through it, you know. But then other characters with like multi hits, like Sheik up air, like you can't be doing that, you know. You gotta play around that and use something else. And so, that'd be the main thing I would say.
So you think fundamentals and adapting it to the matchups and player tendencies?
All about adapting. Like it's so hard to catch on for a lot of players. I mean, even me. When something like really small happens, like say I whiff a grab or miss grabs, my opponent spot dodging. You know, sometimes like, especially when you're caught in the moment, like at a big tournament or something, like it's hard to adapt to that stuff like on the fly.
Yeah.
But once you got that stuff down, you know, like I would say with any character it's possible, especially in this game.
Yeah.
I can't believe people say Ridley is bottom 5. Where did that start? Are you joking?
You're the only one.
I like
it work.
When he came out, when the game came out and he was, you know, announced. I liked him. I played him. I thought he was pretty strong.
His nair feels really good.
It does everything.
His nair.
That move does absolutely everything.
His side B is probably my favorite move. Just cause,
good mix up, yeah.
Yeah, just because
definitely.
So Tim and I were talking a while ago how you like download players. Like you just instantly know what to do against like any player. You like shake their hand and all of a sudden you like know everything about their life.
Oh, no.
That's
and like, so like,
no.
Well, it just seems like, so when you're playing somebody, like when you're playing Austin, like the first game's kind of close, and then the second game you inching further ahead, and the third game's typically just a one-sided wash.
I think it's more along the lines of like a lot of us here, especially in our local scenes, I think we overrate our players like a lot. And, you know, when you, like leading up to Austin, I would hear about it every single day. How like, oh my God, this man's a god. He's unbeatable. You know, and it's like, I've been through these type of things. You know, like I've experienced these type of players before. It's once you sit down and play with him, and also talk to him too. He's one of the coolest people you'll ever meet in Smash. So cool. And like you talk to them and you start to realize like, oh wait, they're human, you know, like what's this god stuff you're talking about? I just see this little nest, you know, PK fire, like, come on, you know. And also once you sit down and play them and realize that they're a player just like me, you'll start to see these force of habits. Like with him, the biggest thing I noticed was every time I would hit him, he'd always jump forward with side magnet, he wants to fight me back. He's like, what'd you say to me? You know? So I'm like, okay, I respect that. You know, I'll back off and wait. Yeah. And like I hit him with so many F smashes, and
we saw.
it also doesn't help that in his city, he obliterates most players he comes across.
Right.
And those type of players don't give him that experience. So when someone like me comes along and starts F smashing him across the screen, you know, 4 times the stock, he's like, "What? Who does this? Who are you? You know, what is this?" So I definitely understand that.
And I think that's something that Deluxe, in his set with Austin did. He actually did a lot for smashes, compared to like
those
sets that I've seen here. And maybe he picked that up from you, or you told him. I don't know what happened, but I think, you know, I noticed that. So for people who are completely new, what is since we're talking about tournaments, what is something that you recommend to in regards to mentality when going into a game in a tournament?
That's like the biggest topic for me, because I've been having a lot of mentality issues as of late, especially after Prime Saga. It always helps to remind you that there's always another chance.
Yeah.
And always to play to learn and let the win come naturally. You know, it's hard with these bigger events too, when you're like, oh, this is like the final test of my skills. You know, I gotta prove myself and I gotta win and do well. but it's never the end of the road. You know, there's always going to be another chance. But then again, I could see that also being like a bit of a hindrance on a lot of our local players, because compared to something like Brawl, you only had, a tournament every like month or two.
Right.
So you had to make it count, right? But for tournaments nowadays, you got like a weekly every few days. They're like, oh, I'll be fine next week, right? Say like you lose previous week. It can go both ways, but it's just the most important thing is to play to learn. Always play to learn.
Right.
So Houston has a lot of really young players. Some of them are in the chat. Ismon, Wormy, there's Velta. There's so many good young players. Of those like group, we already talked about Ismon kind of being the leader and coming up, but who else from that group really stands out to you?
Yeah, stands out to me. I've been practicing a good amount with Buenen's Ryu. Buenen, the Ryu player.
Yep.
He actually went to an SSC a month ago, and took a set off Ismon and brought it to grand finals. And I think he's like an example of like a new gen who shows promise. And then the other day when I was here, the other side of the building, I haven't been in here yet. Yeah, playing with fire. Sat down and played like a bunch of people.
Where are these flies? Sorry.
A lot of new players I was fighting against. I didn't even know their names. It's so hard for me to keep track of names. Just so many, because I don't really come out as often.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who these people are, and it's so easy for me to forget names. So I apologize for that. If you've been affected by that, but it's like some show promise, but I don't know. If it also feels like a lot of people are still trying to figure out who their characters are and how to even play this damn game.
What do you think about Ryu in this game?
I wanted to believe at first. I was actually happy with a lot of the changes. More so for the fact that like a lot of people in Smash 4, the way you saw Ryu was all this character, all he does is just up tilt you in your face and nair.
Yeah.
And then kill you at 50 or sure you can like. I'm glad they changed that stuff and like kind of water it down a little more. Not make it as effective, but he doesn't have like much of anything. It looks so hard to work with. You have to be so patient with that character to make him work. I don't have it anymore in me. Like I ain't got time for this. Just sitting back, shooting your little fireballs, conditioning your opponent to like, make one wrong move and maybe you'll get like a little fair or back air or something. But he doesn't have those explosive combos anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That crazy punish game that he used to have. So it's like he doesn't have a lot going for him.
Yeah. Is there a character that you want to try later in the future?
Oh, I have a whole list of characters.
what is that like non-priority character? Like that last character.
Character. Not even him anymore. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually like Ken more. But
by Ryu. Okay.
I would say. I want to say Simon. Simon is my first love. Like even though I went to Ridley for tournament usage first.
Yes.
I always practiced Simon off the side because he's my favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
I love his play style. I love the whole idea of him. It's so cool. But he's hard. He's also hard to work with in tournament. Like his matchup spread is not as good as you think.
No, it's really cool seeing Shuton bring him out against Myron.
Stuff like that. That's the way you do it. Like I think as a secondary he'll be fine. But I've always been about like fighting through the struggles with any character that I play. So like I want to solo it.
Right.
That's what I've been doing with Ridley.
Okay, we're 20 minutes in. If you guys are in the chat, make sure that you go check the Houston Smash Facebook group. Put your questions on there or tweet Last Talk Gaming. I keep saying lasttalkgaming.com, but lasttalkgaming.com. Tweet at Last Talk Gaming for any questions that you may have for Trella right now. We're gonna compile everything. We got a lot of questions right now from our Discord, from the comments on Facebook. So go ahead and write in. And later we'll also be taking questions from Twitch chat. So make sure you stick around. We're going to continue our conversation with Trella.
So your journey through Ultimate so far, it's been it hasn't really had many bumps besides Prime Saga.
Yeah. I can't believe it's gone this well, actually. Especially with a character that a lot of people perceive as, like, really bad. Or not as good as most of the other casts, I can't believe it's gone this well. And it doesn't surprise me that a tournament like Prime Saga would happen eventually. But that one hurt a lot, like a lot. Especially you come from like winning this whole streak of tournaments, even though it hasn't been too many.
Right.
And I go into this tournament and like, oh, like I've been doing really well, better than I ever have. It should be fine, right? You just plummet.
So I was gonna ask you to compare it to Smash 4, because Smash 4 you were picked up by a big sponsor, you were doing really well, but you think in Ultimate so far you've done better than that?
The way my mentality has been shaped, it's changed so much over the years. It changed a lot after my time with Panda Global. And with Smash 4 as a whole, like I just kind of didn't enjoy that game as much, so I just kind of pushed it aside. But with Ultimate, I wanted to give it another try because after what happened during my time with Smash 4, I feel like I didn't truly give the game enough a chance, and I didn't give myself enough of a chance. So I wanted to change that this time. And even though I don't attend a lot of tournaments, you'll be damn sure I make it count when I do come, because I prepare as hard as I can for each event. The month leading up to Prime Saga was so bad. It was almost unhealthy, actually. Like I didn't play enough as much as I wanted to, but the preparation that went into it, like studying matchups and writing things down and stuff, was so overwhelming. But I do that with every tournament now. And in Smash 4, I just kind of show up and be like, "Oh, what's up, guys? I'm here to play, right? I'm here to win this time." Like it's different this time. And even if it's a little weekly, like I don't care. I'll make sure when I enter this weekly, I have what it takes to win it, and I'm ready for every player that I come across. But that's also why I don't enter as much, because it takes so much out of me to make that happen.
Do you have a set schedule for when you're entering?
You mean like what events I choose to go to?
Right. How do you determine that?
It just usually like. Say with like Prime Saga, I knew about the event like 4 months before it happened, so I knew that like I'm gonna aim for this. And so whatever comes in between, like say like a Shockwave or so, or whatever regional comes up, I'll aim for that. But recently, like there hasn't been a lot of like big events until next weekend, right? Which is Showdown, and Konkpalooza, stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if I'm ready for those events. I don't know if I'll be playing for the moment, but there was like this drought between that Shockwave I went to before Prime Saga and now. Like there wasn't any big events happening, It was mainly just like weekly events with say like a top player or two showing up.
Right.
So I don't know. It depends on what's happening, It's hard to say with Texas because we don't have a lot of big events. But everything's outside of Texas, And I don't know if I'm ready to like take that big step forward and like start traveling, every few weeks again, because that'll just slowly kill me on the inside. It takes so much out of me.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's one of our goals, is just like to create a massive like
premier event in Houston.
It's on the right track.
It's just we want to make sure that everyone in Houston knows what Smash, what FGC is all about. So that's our aim.
I was actually really impressed with this venue. This is my first time at Coral Sword, or playing with Fire the other day. Over there, it's huge. This place has it all. Like, look at this. Like no other weekly has this that I know of.
Yeah.
Except maybe Shockwave up in Dallas, but like we're on the right track at the moment. And the numbers on Friday were actually really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Over 80.
We had 84, I believe.
So that's nice. Yeah. And
so
84, but for top player representation, there was a little lacking. Like we had Duo, Avoid, Shauna.
I spoke with a few of them. Some of the better players that usually show up, they're just kind of burnt out, just like I am from Prime Saga. Like,
it makes sense.
Just give it another week or two, and I think those players will return.
Do you think we can reach Shockwave numbers?
It's a possibility, but it's gonna take some time. This is not something you can rush. Like I know everyone talks about this topic all the time. They're like, why don't we have those numbers that they do? But someone like Trey up there, who's the owner, and also the guy who runs T-Lock now, I believe. He's been building his brand for years in that venue. They've had that venue, I think, since the start of Smash 4. So, like, he's had so much time to prepare for this moment, which is Ultimate.
Right.
And, we've kind of been, like, all over the place in Houston. SSC just found their new venue.
Right.
And I know they've been looking for venues for, like, they switch venues every, like, 2 months. It feels like a nightmare for them.
Yeah.
There's just something that'll come with time. I think we're at the right spot at the moment. If we can keep this place, keep working on it, and just
Mm-hmm.
just build up our new weeklies.
Yeah, and I
Absolutely.
think Corals are very supportive of what the current TOs are doing, and
Yeah.
just
Just them facilitating the move from
Yeah.
Thursdays to Fridays is going to be a huge thing. We already
Mhm.
saw it in the first move. It went from 50-something entrants to 82,
yeah,
84.
yeah, almost double.
That's
so.
good. Yeah.
So we're getting there, right? So where would you rate Houston among I guess other Texas scenes?
Texas scenes.
Yeah.
There's this pretty big rivalry, I'd say, going on with Dallas and Houston. I mean, it's kind of always been.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
They're always
In
fighting each
everything.
other
Yeah,
all
Dallas
the time.
sucks.
Oh, man, at the moment though, it's so hard to say.
Mhm.
I mean, with Austin and San Antonio and I think it's Laredo, they kind of have their one or two players, but that's
Mhm.
kind of it.
You think that's pretty
Yeah.
much
I'd
it?
say. With Dallas though, they have a lot more than that. I want to say so in Houston too, because I
Mhm.
think of people like a Void and Bonnerin. On our rankings, I don't think they're ranked as. I don't even think they're top 5. At the
No,
moment.
they're 6 and 7.
And when I think
Avoid
of
is
that,
6, Bonner and 7.
when I think of that, I'm like, how's that possible? Because when I sit down and play people like Avoid and Bonnerin, I'm like, there's no way you're that placing. You're up here. Like
Yeah.
if they wanted to, they could beat most of these players.
I think Ismon's underrated too. I know it's weird to say number 5 is underrated, but Ismon's way
It's
underrated.
True. It's true. Yeah. With Dallas, I feel like they kind of have something similar.
Mhm.
I would say, but I feel like the skill gap they have between like Austin and maybe Denty or whoever's second, and then there's like this drop off.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a lot of good talent though. Kasoka, what is it? In? Is it-
Kasoka in Denty, Orex,
Yep.
Karna. I mean, it just goes on.
I love watching In play Ken. It makes me want to pick up the character, and then I go play him like 2 or 3 games. Like, oh, this is why I don't
Yeah, this
play
is
this.
why.
This is not
Yeah,
anywhere near as
exactly.
easy as he makes it look.
It's hard. Yep. Definitely.
What is some other game that you have been playing aside from Smash? Another fighting game that you enjoy playing besides Smash?
Another fighting game?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought about getting into MK11 because it just came out.
Right.
I'm waiting for whoever their DLC characters are because I
Mhm.
feel like in fighting games nowadays with DLC characters,
Yeah.
they hit you with like the most unexpected thing possible.
Yeah, I hope Yoshi gets in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
You'll play, I guess, when Yoshi gets in. Yeah, I'm just waiting for that one character
Yoshi.
that'll like really click with me,
Uh-huh.
and maybe I'll give it a try. But other than fighting games, I haven't really been playing much.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of DLC characters, we got
Oh, for
3 other more
Smash?
coming. Who do you want? We were talking about this at lunch. We would
I need Spyro and Smash right now.
that'd actually be sick.
Yeah,
I
that
will
makes-
drop every character I'm playing and play him for the rest of my life. I
Yeah.
want Spyro and Smash.
What other character would you want?
Other than that, I would have said Tails, but then they hit me with a hard one.
The
Right.
That
the
last
costume?
direct, the freaking costume. You've got to be joking.
That's all.
There's also this player I play in Houston, Daffle. You know
Uh-huh.
Daffle?
I don't. Everybody knows Daffle, the Leffen killer.
He, yeah, left and killer. Dear God. I want to forget about that for a moment. But he's been picking up me Gunner.
Hey.
And he'll put on that Tails costume.
At least it's not Zaddy losing to Bonren over at Prime Saga, right? So
That's amazing.
Well, yeah, I guess.
that's his curse.
We've been memeing on Zaddy pretty hard because he always loses to Bonrin.
Damn, even at Prime Saga?
Even
Yeah,
in Prime Saga, he
yeah.
got eliminated by Bonrin.
Yeah.
That hurts. Ugh. But yeah, other than them two, like Tails, I always believed was
Uh-huh.
never gonna happen. It was just like a childhood dream come
Right.
true.
Right.
Spyro could maybe.
You want to tell him your character?
Which one? Yoshimitsu.
Yoshimitsu?
Yoshimitsu, what Soul Calibur?
Yeah, or it's Tekken.
Tekken, whichever.
Second Soul
shoot.
Calibur, both. I think he'd be a good
Yeah.
character. I think Scorpion would be cool.
Yep, that's another.
Or
That'd be
Sub-Zero.
Cool.
I mean, we have MK11 on the Switch, right? So
It's our only chance.
it's a
you know,
possibility.
but
It's our possibility.
I don't know how it'll be done, but it's our only chance. There's some hope. Oh, Chrono is another from Chrono Trigger. Oh my God, I'd freak the hell
There's
out.
so
if that
many-
happened. And Banjo, like that's my list.
I think
right
that one's
Yeah.
really realistic. I think
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie has a really real chance. So.
Oh, for sure.
I think
yeah.
people want characters from a Mario RPG, right? Like
Like Gino.
Like Gino. I like Gino.
Just Paper Mario.
Yeah. Or the big Yoshi. You
The
know,
big
the big fat Yoshi.
Oh shoot.
Yoshi, but heavy.
Yeah.
Thick Yoshi.
Yeah. Or just put freaking what's his name, K. Rool in a Yoshi costume, and then you just call it a fat Yoshi.
See, I just want more traditional fighting game characters. I want Akuma. I think Akuma would be awesome.
Yep.
Like that'd be their chance to have like a Ryu or Ken style character that actually be viable.
Mhm.
Maybe they realize, hey,
Yeah, they need a bad guy, right?
there you go.
Everybody got villains.
I know Sakurai's talked about the guy from Tekken, I believe the main guy. What's
Oh,
his name?
I can't even pronounce it. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, him.
The old man?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's talked about
I don't
wanting to
remember his
implement
name
him
either.
in the game before,
That'd be cool.
but they just went with something else. So like,
Right.
I mean that could happen, you know.
Were you expecting Joker? Did you think about
No.
Joker before?
No,
Any Persona stuff?
I've been a fan of the game,
Uh-huh.
of games really, but I mean I don't keep up with them too much and haven't played too much of them. But my family, my brothers and sisters, that's all they talk about, and that's all they play for the past few years. So
Mhm.
when we were watching that direct live,
Yeah.
the awards,
The
is that the
it was
awards?
the awards, yeah.
Joker
actually-
flipped over that
I'm
card.
glad I'm glad
Oh,
I watched the awards.
right.
Because before, maybe the year before, I was like, whatever, just another
Yeah,
awards.
there's nothing
But this
there.
year, I was like, you know what? I'm actually gonna watch the entire awards because people get to watch their Oscars. People get to watch their, the other stuff. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, I want something.
I want
It's
something
my
for me.
time.
Yeah.
Right.
And I sat down, and I was just like jumping. Like I jumped, and I was like,
Yep.
no way, no way.
I
this
had
is
that
happening.
feeling I had when I saw Cloud in Smash. It's like that feeling is to me is still unbeatable. As when I was
Cloud,
watching
yeah.
that live,
Mhm.
I couldn't hold myself back. I'm
Yeah.
like even though I played a bit of the game as a kid, like from every Smash game,
Mhm.
like as a kid, you wanted Cloud in Smash, and there
Yeah.
he is. And I feel
Yeah.
like with new gens, like that's kind of how Joker is.
I think
a
that
bit.
feeling of the ultimate announcement, though, like
The ultimate
when
announcement
you
was
saw
hype.
when you saw the inklings
Oh,
in the
the
eyes,
eye. Oh,
I was like, wow, like
it's time.
this is it. Like
This is it.
Here we come, and then
So I
like,
never played a Smash game before Ultimate, but I was hyped for Ultimate from the minute it was announced.
Yeah. I remember watching the announcement videos, and there's one specific video where I think they were like at an Apple store or something, and they were watching the trailer, and there's a bunch of people with cameras, and like some girl was crying, other guy was like, on the
Crying?
floor
Oh.
like crying too. Like it's such a different type of feeling whenever something that you enjoy doing all of a sudden has a new thing coming out.
Yeah, and
Right?
during that time too, Smash 4 hit its like absolute lowest low.
Yeah.
With all the Bayo hate and all this game is dead. And then that inkling
Think
came.
Bayo
and
killed
gave
the
us-
game.
Yeah, I mean
I
it's
think
one
Bayo killed
one
it.
of
Yeah,
many
I
reasons.
don't wanna
I
wanna
stopped
say exactly
watching
why,
it when
but-
Bayo came out because I've always watched more FGCs when I play. Like I watched Street Fighter a lot. Only touched it like a couple months ago for the first time, but I've been watching it since
Yeah.
Street Fighter 4.
Of course.
I've always watched Smash. I've been watching Melee since 08. We were talking about this before. Like I've been
Mhm.
watching Melee since 2008, 2009. I've still never played that game.
Mhm.
I've never touched it, never tried it. I never watched Brawl.
You
but-
didn't miss much.
Yeah,
You're fine. You're fine.
But when Smash 4 came out, like I watched a lot of Smash 4. I watched it at Evo. I watched it anytime like everybody was memeing in chat when's Melee start. Like
Yeah.
I was in there watching it.
It
Like,
hurt. Yeah.
I think my favorite time was when Mango was like winning Melee tournaments. That was probably my favorite time watching Melee. And then I was like,
There's still so much
just
good
watch
Melee.
something else. I think after that, I kind of started just playing more League and getting more into League. But that's another topic for another
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
Let me get started on these questions that our team I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
The LSG team wanted to ask you. So, the young legend, the young Peru asks, how you get your name?
My name. I used to play this. I used to play online games with one of my cousins up in North Carolina, and whenever we would talk online, this is like when we were really young.
Yeah.
Like we were like 10 or 12 or something.
Mhm.
Every time she would say my name, she'd always say Alert instead of Albert. She'd be like, "Oh, sorry, I meant Albert. I'm sorry."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I guess just like it just kind of like attached to me.
Yeah.
Was that tag, and you basically just reverse it.
Right.
It's Trella. It just stuck with me ever
Yeah.
since that. I,
Wow. Trella
So-
backwards is alert.
Yeah,
Thank you.
mind blown.
Okay. Blind, I think we already went through this, but what goes through your mind when playing against Austin?
Austin in particular.
Yeah.
He's a Nest man.
The guy asked
Him
the
question
and
is-
I are nest mates in our group. So
They're Austin fanboys.
yeah,
There's like this.
you killed his god.
I don't. Oh well. I don't know the best way to truly like how to word this, but I
Mhm.
think it's a thing with old gens. Usually you'll learn as time goes on with Smash. I mean, any fighting game. It's honestly any fighting game.
Yeah.
That the true answer to all your problems is just patience.
Yeah.
So when I see someone like Austin, and we were also talking before we played the last time we played, we were talking about how some of these players you fight against, like they just refuse to approach, and they're like, come this way. I'm not even going to commit to anything. And Austin was talking about just how much he really disliked that type of stuff, and that also showed me that like, oh well, if I sort of play that way, it'll start to I didn't want to think of it like that, but I mean.
You're there to win.
It's a bit of that passive aggressiveness, It's not that like, oh, he absolutely hated that, but it's that type of stuff is what really gets you far. It's like the simple baits, like spacing tilts or dashing back and forth and waiting for your opponent to commit to that one little option. It's like that. It's like you're putting pressure on them, but you're not really doing anything. It's that fake kind of pressure. I think that's what really gets him. Okay. I would say.
Yeah.
And of course, those type of players that'll just they're over there at their ledge and they're like, you come over here. I hate that stuff too.
Yeah.
I definitely felt the same way he felt when he was talking to me about that stuff. So I understood.
Okay. Moo asked, who is the most difficult player you've played against in Ultimates?
That definitely changed at Prime Soccer because pretty much everyone I fought was beating me. Like I was struggling versus so many people. I want to say Ven Zelda. He was the first person I got to sit down with and play.
Ven is hype.
Ven is super.
Ven and Foe are both hype.
And I'd play with Germ every now and then, his Zelda.
Yeah.
And he would always talk about Ven Zelda, like, oh, Ven does this and this and this. He's so good. So when I saw Ven sit down and play, I was like, I gotta play him. I gotta experience this. I get 3-stock the first match. I was like, well, off to a great start,
Yeah.
Things got a little better from there, but I could tell just the way he was like conditioning me and pressuring me and like just reading me all around. It's like this is very hard. You got to really want it to beat someone like this, DeBuzz is another. I got to play with him for a while. Do you get hit by one grab or one up smash from Olimar, 80 plus damage, especially as Ridley. You gotta be so on point versus these people. It's a nightmare.
What is your favorite game aside from Smash?
I want to say, when I think of the word favorite game, the first thing that comes to mind is Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
I love that game.
The Elder Scrolls 3, I grew up with that game.
I still have it on my computer.
I still play that game. Yeah, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I feel like nothing's going to beat that game anytime soon.
What is your favorite song from Smash?
From Smash?
Yeah. Like, do you have like a song counter pick?
Honestly, the original FD theme from 64, they put it back in this game.
Yes.
Always. Like,
okay.
I definitely love that song.
Any advice to get started on competitive Smash?
There's definitely a lot of answers to that question, but I would say the biggest thing is make the step forward and come out to these events, man. You know, just even if you're here just to play friendlies, like me, like I don't really enter much. I'm just here to practice with friends and meet new people. That's how you get started.
Yeah.
And it all just goes from there.
Okay, I have a few, like 2 more questions from here, and then we'll take some questions from Twitch chat themselves. How do you picture the Houston scene 1 year after Ultimate's release?
Well, from now?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll definitely be in a better spot, especially now. We're on the right track, I would say. It can go anywhere from here. Like I would say is in general, depending on how updates go with Smash and the DLC characters and all that stuff, like I feel like with Smash 4 it kind of died down. It would, attendance would kind of plummet, and that's just how things go. Over time it just gets smaller, and you only have the more dedicated players stay around. But with Ultimate, I feel like that could definitely change, especially if you bring in hype characters that everyone wants.
Yeah,
like people will love it, and patches too. I want to say patches actually. A lot of people talk about this, how there's a lot of disappointment in recent patches and how like characters aren't really changed that much. You would expect from going from Smash 4 to Ultimate, you'd expect like, say a character like Pichu to just get like absolutely gutted. Like Pichu needs this change, this change, this change. Wolf needs this change and this, but like that stuff doesn't really happen.
Right.
And I actually like that from the team because if you've been keeping up with Ultimate so far, results are like just absolutely crazy all over the place. Your favorite players one day will get like top 3 at a national, and then the next they're 33rd.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. You know, it's just all over the place. So I feel like they're on the right track with not gutting these characters yet. You definitely need to give it time. Unless it's something like Bayo and Smash 4, then you burn that witch to the ground. Which they tried to do. Sorry. They tried to do, but it still wasn't enough, you know.
Right.
So.
So my question from me.
All right.
What is when looking for sponsorships, when wanting to get sponsored as a player, what do you look for in an organization?
To me, it's all about family. I would say that's something PG would always tell me is it's just all about family. You know, it's not about just being picked up by this person who give you a quick buck to attend some tournament and then never talk to you again until the next tournament. That's not the sponsored life. You know, when I think of sponsored life, I think of being a family and like hanging out at every other tournament, talking every day about your troubles as a player and stuff and your experiences. And I think that's what PG really did for me. But at the same time, I feel like I'm not active enough as a player, and I don't want it enough to have something like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like the more time I spent with PG, it's not that it was bad in any way. They were great.
Yeah.
It just wasn't for me.
Right.
The sponsor life just is not for me. You know, I like doing my own thing when I want to do it. And they tried to play around that, but at the same time, they're like, well actually, we need you. You know, you're here. You know, like why would you miss this event? You know, we need you at this and stuff. And I think over time, it's just like, nah, this isn't for me. But if you're looking for something like that, I would say it's like results is the first thing people look for when trying to get a player. But also like their what's the word? Their brand, like the way they present themselves. You know. I'd say like someone like MVD, for example, like not only has been a good player over time, but he really has. I think he's branded himself very well. Anti is another. Those players.
Anti's my all-time favorite player.
Yeah.
Anti, if you're watching, I want you on the podcast in the future. Anti, all right.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
I'm a huge Anti.
I was so excited that him and Larry got picked up by SK.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Larry
it's T1.
Yeah.
But
Larry too.
T1.
See, that's nice.
SK T1. Okay, you want to read some questions from the chat, and then I'll pull up Facebook, and then you can read that.
All right.
There. All right.
So the first one from Rosen, do you think Texas is a hidden powerhouse compared to other regions?
Yes, I would say immediately yes, because compared to Smash 4, like we only had, like there's me. At one point, I was the only person traveling. It was literally only me. It felt so bad. And then now with something like Prime Saga, for example, people were calling it Houston Saga because there were so many Houston players that came. That's so cool to experience. You know? Like, so I would say that right there is like a good indication of something. But also, like, have you seen players like Austin? Like, look what he does. You know, like that wasn't in Smash 4.
How do you think he compares to Foe? I know that's a little off topic, but we were talking about Ven, and it got me thinking about Foe. Those two are like the top of Vegas.
I feel like they have the same idea with like their aggression and how they approach people. Foe uses different types of moves. Like I know he likes to use more dash attack, or maybe I'm thinking from Smash 4, playing in Smash 4. They have different type of moves they like to like really try to utilize. So it's definitely a little tough to compare them. But I want to say that Austin's aggressive game, like his punish game, I'd say his punish game is like unmatched. That stuff is ridiculous. But then again, I mean, he probably took some notes from Foe, who's always been that Ness, you know. So I mean, they're both
love
great.
watching those two.
They're both great, you know.
I don't even like the character, but I love watching those two.
Ness is crazy. Those PK Thunder 2 kills. Oh my god! Like, I'll remember the first Shockwave he played MVD. we were screaming in our rooms for Austin every time he got that PK Thunder 2 kill. You can't hold yourself back. It's just so hype.
It's hilarious watching the.
I killed Bonner and PK Thunder too.
Pros
Really
baddies.
caffeinated. I got one stock from Bonner, and I was like, I'm good.
That's all you need. Yeah, sounds good.
Luna asks, "Is John secretly the best player in Texas?"
Oh, Luna, we play with him like every other night. Yeah, John Luso. I basically consider he's one of my closest friends. I've known him for like 10 years. But also, I see him as like a a coach figure, because he always has like some sort of advice when you have a question to ask, and he's helped me a lot through my ultimate journey, and he was there with me every step of the way throughout TGC returns and the Go Games tournament with the big pop bonus. Without him, I probably would have faltered like heavily with that. And he's an online player, and he's really not interested in like entering big events. But if he ever wanted to, you ask any player in Houston who has played him, he could beat everyone. if he ever so desired. It's awesome.
So Daffel, we're going to Facebook questions now. Daffel asked, do you think the competition in Ultimate is tougher than it was during Brawl and Smash 4?
Hell to the yes. It's like I said before, it only gets harder from here. You have like such a crazy number of attendance from these players compared to Brawl, where literally some of our monthlies we're getting 20 and 30 people. Like you announce one little weekly and you're already beating that.
Yeah.
Just it's that easy now. And then nationals are like 1,000+ players. Dude, I think Genesis had, I want to say, over 2,000. How do you prepare for that? You know, like I'm the type of player who's like, okay, I'm gonna look up this player, in this matchup, and this matchup. But you never know what to expect with these people. These players are so good, and they have their basics down with their character, and there's so many characters in this game.
Yeah.
You just never know what to expect. Like when I was at Prime Stock, I lost to a Wii Fit in a Center War.
Wii Fit's low-key good. Wii Fit is so good.
He would hit me with like a single tilt, 70+, and I'm like,
did you see?
Who is this?
Did you see Elegant versus Wadi?
Elegant
Elegant
Wii
versus
Fit
Wadi.
and
Wii Fit versus.
I haven't
Luigi.
seen that yet.
So
That sounds ugly.
it was ugly. So Wadi ran away with it. Got Elegant down to last stock, about 120% on last stock. So basically one hit, and he's gonna win 3 stock him. Elegant had other plans.
Other plans.
So he took 1 stock, no problem. Second stock, he 0 to death Wadi. Like did the 0 death combo.
Of course.
Yeah.
When he was coming down with his 3rd stock, Wadi did deep breathing. Elegant did the whole 0 to death chain again, but Wii Fit Trainer survived because you don't get as much knockback when you have deep breathing.
Really? Is it knockback too?
It's knockback too. So he barely survived.
What?
He lands a tilt on Elegant and wins the match.
That type of stuff. Like, yeah, when that Wii Fit up, I would fight. He would do that deep breathing stuff, and I want to run for my life. Like, I don't want to be around this
Secret OP.
thing. That stuff is scary.
Best Ness was playing him a lot when the game first came out. In SoCal, he went out to a couple weeklies there and was playing him against Void.
Yep.
That character looks so fun. Alvisor asked, how do you feel about the vibe of the Houston scene compared to Smash 4 versus Ultimate?
Oh, it is so much better. That goes for literally, I would say, any scene in Ultimate in this game with any state, any city. It is so much better than Smash 4 because something about that game, when you play Smash 4, you knew something was wrong, but you went with it anyway.
Yeah.
So you would experience things like, say, me as a Ryu, I'd focus attack you at 0 and kill you from an air combo off stage. That doesn't feel good, you know. It's not a good feeling, and so like that goes with a lot of characters in that game, and just the game as a whole. So like the what's the word? Like their attitude in general, like hanging out with people, like when it came to that game, it wasn't that great for the most part. Everyone was just salty and bitter, but not with Ultimate.
Yeah.
It's so much better.
Okay. We have like 11 minutes, 10 minutes left of this. So, do you want to throw out some socials right now? We're not closing. We just want to throw out some socials.
I mean, I have a Twitter at TrellaTTM, but I almost never post. That's all I got.
Yeah.
You know, I just post whenever I feel like it, and whenever I'm ready for to say something. You know, like today, like, oh, I'm on podcast, guys, come hang out, man. You know, that's all I got.
Do you have any questions for us? Have you thought about anything that you want to ask or you want to know?
Dude, I have questions
about Last Saw Gaming themselves. You know, the organization.
I'm actually a little curious how you guys started and where you came from, because this is my first time meeting y'all.
Yeah.
And I know for me, like, I don't really say much in the scene. I don't come out a lot.
Yeah.
But when I came here, I was like, when did we get all this? You know, what's going on, you know? So I'm kind of interested in learning, you know, that.
Yeah. So, like, our second episode, Remo came in the chat and asked the same thing. Who's Last Saw Gaming?
Yeah.
Who are you guys?
Oh, who are you guys? Yeah.
We came out of nowhere, really. We're just a bunch of guys playing Smash, and then things just turn into something else, and all of a sudden, we were talking about like how we feel like we can grow the community and support the community. Tim and I like sat down one day and said, "Hey, I have this idea." And he's like, "Oh, I have the same idea. All right, let's do something." Um,
That's cool.
Spent an entire month like writing out the plans and stuff, talking to our guys, and then now we're here. We
And then you
started
got
we
all
started we
this,
started
yeah.
some podcasts at home, and then
Those episodes are rough.
Yeah,
Looking back on them, they were
those
so
are some
bad.
I
rough
bet. Yeah, I
episodes.
bet.
But we're really thankful for all the people we've met. I mean, Vincent, Raul, MJ, like all the core
Austin.
esport guys, Austin playing with fire. Guys like Alvisor from Next Level, who we've sat down and talked to them, like, and we want to talk to everybody else. Like, we want to know people. Like, we're here, we're people too. Like, think of us as just new players, and we want to grow with the community, right? Think of us as how you would like the community to grow, because I feel like we can connect with a lot of like, oh my goodness, fly, the corals are fly. Anyways, we feel like we can connect with the community and be that bridge from like I guess organizations onto the community. So
I think a lot of organizations in Smash are kind of afraid of working with other people. Like everybody just kind of wants to stay in their shell and focus on their thing and not really branch out from
I think
it.
that's kind of always been a thing in Houston too.
Yeah.
Is mainly like there's kind of like this this vibe they have with each other. Like it's not that they don't hate each other, but they'd rather do their own thing.
yeah,
You know,
which is
so-
totally fine. But if
think-
you want to do your own thing, then expect competition.
Mhm.
Expect healthy competition too. If you don't want to work with somebody else, then don't. Like
That's the thing
you know?
is in Smash 4 it wasn't healthy competition. I think like we had so much drama in this scene, but I think that's also because of the game too. I always go back to the game is like it's
Yeah.
just. It just wasn't meant to be, you
Yeah,
know.
if
But
the
with
game
Ultimate,
itself is
like
toxic, then
I don't see any of that anymore.
mhm.
Other than the PR discussion, the Texas PR,
Yeah, that was pretty
That's a
rough.
people were
different
going at each
discussion.
other's
You got robbed.
heads over that.
Yeah.
No, I on any given day, those players above me, they could beat me. Actually, they did. Maybe
Yeah.
took a set. Austin took a set. That's
Mhm.
just how it is, you know. And their performance too, because I don't come out a lot of stuff, you know. Like, how could I compete with someone like Austin, who's beaten MVD, Captain Zach, ESAM? The list goes on. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
just how it is.
I'm so glad Captain Zach, this is off topic again, I do this a lot. I'm so glad Captain Zach's good with other characters.
Mhm.
Because he was that guy in Smash 4 playing Bayo, winning
Yeah,
with Bayo.
but
But his Daisy's nasty.
Before Bayo, he was Peach, and he would do well. He would come down to some of our Houston tournaments, the TGCs, and he would do well.
Yeah.
So that never surprised me. Him and Sam Sora would team too.
Mhm.
Double Peach. That was crazy. They were super good in teams. Yeah.
Luna asks again, what's your favorite tournament experience? I'm assuming he's talking of all time.
Yeah, it'd probably be of all time. I would say some of the 2GG events. For me, Prime Saga wasn't. It was harder to connect with a lot of players, and I think that also affected my overall performance and how I played. Because I feel like I wasn't having as much fun as I usually would.
Mhm.
Because even though the Smash Bros. Community was like, it was tight knit, but also at the same time, like, like I was saying, like kind of bitter about things.
Yeah.
It was still cool to hang out with a lot of those players, and especially at the 2GG events where everyone would meet up and come and hang out and play and stuff. You can't beat that. Like when I think of something like Civil War or Pink Fresh Saga, or I went to another one, SCR Saga. I went to commentate. Amazing events. I feel like there's still the unbeatable competition at the moment. Is like
Yeah.
when they put on an event, like nothing beats it.
Yeah.
So that's super cool.
Yeah. Should we go back to the topic we were at, Tim? Or do you
I got one more question, then we're going to get to our wrap up because we've got 6 minutes left. Last question for you from me. How do you think Texas as a whole compares to regions like MDVA, Florida, and SoCal, I guess, are the top three, right?
In Smash 4, we kind of proved actually that we weren't all that bad for the most part. We went to a Genesis and had crew battles, and we actually did like sort of okay. But in this game, I feel like we could do a lot better. Not only do we have some of the hard names from Houston, but we got the heavy hitters from Dallas.
Mhm.
Like if we were to team up as something and all of us came together, like say a crew of like there's myself, Meme, Austin, Mega Fox Razor, hockey. You know, it's
Hockey's so sick.
that's sick. You know, like I feel like we could do some heavy damage, some good damage. You know, I think our scene is like. I don't like using the word too much, but has a lot of potential.
Yeah,
You know,
it's just getting stronger.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
there's a lot more to prove, and I think we're going to prove it over time.
That's good.
You know,
That's good, and we hope that all PR players continue to grow. That Texas PR
There's
players
so much
continue
talent.
to grow, and just start destroying, start taking names over outside of Texas.
You know, the city's stacked or region's stacked when there are so many players outside of PR in Houston that are so good.
Yeah.
Duo, Wormy, Velta.
is he on the PR
Who?
duo?
No.
He's not.
No.
I don't even remember these lists. Like
Like the
I
Houston PR, or are you talking like
is it
Texas
Houston PR?
Texas PR.
Are
yeah.
you sure?
I mean, Houston PR, he's in it, no?
Houston PR he is. Texas PR no, but Texas I think he has the potential to be Texas PR.
See, I know I don't really like. It's so hard to keep track with the list of
Actually,
names.
he's not in
on-
Houston PR because it's you, Razor, Deluxe,
Yeah, see
Shadow
that?
PR, Ismon, Avoid, Bonrin, BC, Oldest Guy, and Tony
Dude,
Sherbert.
when I sit down and play with someone like Duo, Tony, number 10,
Tony's number 10.
he's 3-stocked me multiple times. You know, like
You three-stock people on this list.
yeah, I mean
Right.
it goes both ways,
Yeah.
but anyone can beat anyone. You know,
Yeah.
if they really want it, that's scary to think about. Actually,
It's scary to think Bonrin's number 7.
That too. Oh, Zelda's. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, I think we're gonna close now. Any shout outs to friends?
I want to give shout outs to John Lusso, my man.
He's in the chat.
Is he in the
He's
chat?
in the chat.
Oh, look at him. Here to support. Amber is another. She was basically like my mental support also at
Mhm.
some of the Houston tournaments, and I thank her a lot for her help.
Yeah.
TTN, shouts to TTN, my crew, my mans,
Mhm.
my boys. You know, I don't think they're in here. They don't care. but I'll still give a shout out to them.
Yeah.
And also I want to give a quick shout out to after Prime Saga. I had so many people message me if I was okay. Is everything okay? You know,
Mhm.
are you doing okay? Are you all right? And I've never actually really had that
Yeah.
before in the other Smash games. So I want to give a shout out to all those people who were there for me during my hard times with Ultimate
Yeah.
so far. So thank you for being there for
You know,
me.
we're here too. So now that you've
That
met
too,
us,
yeah.
now that you know
That
who we
too.
are, we'll reach out, and support you as well as much as we can.
Thanks, man.
I love the
Yeah.
chat. So we got Ismon, Wormy, Not Justin, and Jerry, L.
L.
Wolf
Wolf.
talking. RGV is another. RGV scary.
Who's an RGV actually? I'm trying to think.
L. Wolf, Commander.
Oh, Commander. Yeah, that's okay.
I think Commander's their number 1, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
Tim.
that's good.
Tim, here you go, Tim. Plug in, Tim.
All right, we're
Plug
gonna.
it in.
First, I'm gonna start with my Twitter. I always start with my Twitter at @moo_SSB. Follow me there. Follow me on Twitch. I need to hit those 50 followers pretty quickly. So if you don't follow me, get up in there and give me a
Damn.
follow. I don't know the next time I'll be streaming, but follow me. But real quick, shout out to the Slurred Nerd, Vincent. He always kills it. He's the reason we have these great streams, great productions at both Playing with Fire and the Early Access LSG podcast and countless other events here in the city. He'll be doing big things at Texas Showdown coming up next weekend. We also got Smash Point coming up next weekend. Shout out to those guys at Smash United for putting that whole thing on. Comic Palooza. Shout out to Quarks Esports and Fire Nation Smash for all the hard work they do at Playing with Fire.
Yep.
There's big announcements coming soon in that front from those guys, so make sure you follow them closely. You want to talk about the other big thing with LSG? Hint
yeah.
at it.
No, I'm not gonna hint at it. Let me tell y'all what's going on. Follow me on Instagram.
Don't-
at
no.
_.
Don't do
Anyways,
that.
Do that.
you can follow me on Twitter, but just go to our website, lastthought.gaming.com. Go watch our VODs, our previous podcasts. They're on Spotify as well. Please support us. We will really, really love your support. Something that I do want to say is that at 5 p.m. today, there will be a recap video happening on our YouTube channel. So go check that out, Last Thought Gaming, on YouTube, and you will find the recap for Playing with Fire. And we're also going to be uploading some player interviews, some some inside footage of just like what
Yeah,
happened.
we
that
interviewed
day.
until our camera
So-
was dead yesterday.
So yeah, we're excited
Friday.
to share all of that with you. Again, you guys, thank you so much for watching LastStarGaming.com. We'll be here, I think next week, Sunday as well. We're gonna also be. No,
You gotta hint
no,
at it.
we're not gonna do that right now. We will set up another live stream for that. Okay. But we're excited. We have some awesome things coming up, some announcements, and that's all I'm gonna say. LastStarGaming.com. Go check us out. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
See y'all next time.